Alright guys, I've told people I'm going to do this for a while, but I've got a bunch of calls here. We have some Carlton natives, Primos, another Carlton native, some Rocky Mountain, other Primos. Anyways, I told people I'm going to show them how I adjust my calls in order for them to work right. So we're going to give my phone to my daughter. We're going to cut some of these open and show you how to do it. Make sure you can see me. Alright, we're going to start out.
Back up a little bit.
It's called the Rip It 1.5. I have not ever used this call, so we're going to see how it works.
Do you want me to get closer?
Straight out of the box. Now I always cut my calls down. You got to realize these are made to where you can cut around them to make them smaller. You can bend them. You need to adjust the call to where it fits your mouth and the roof of your mouth. So I'll start out, I just trying to blow it without doing anything to it. You can tell by putting it in, it's too big. It's not formed right, but I'll try it anyway. Yeah, I can tell big time that it about gags me. So what you do is you just start cutting around. You cut it around the whole circle. So I'm going to start cutting about, probably 1/4 inch off. It's usually about what I need. And it all depends on the call you get. Some are built for smaller mouths. Okay, so I've just trimmed that around it. Okay. Okay, so for me, what I need to do, my mouth is more round, I guess, than some. So I'll take something round. This is another call. I'm going to shove it up against this. And I'm going to press it down so it circles that call a little bit. So now I've just wrapped the call to where make it a little more round to go against the roof of my mouth better. Let's see if it makes a difference. Okay, for me, that was not really cutting it. It's not one of my favorites so far. I'll play with it some more in a minute. But let me cut one open that I've used a lot in the past. This is a Primos Hyper Lip Double. This is one of my calls I've used for ever since I started hunting. They did change it though, which didn't do me very good. They changed it a few years back. So that's how it comes out. I already know it's too big. I'm going to gag on it. So I'm going to cut around this one also. So I can make it fit my mouth better. So now it's smaller. It's going to fit the roof of my mouth. I'll try it without bending it. I already know I'm going to have to bend it because I've used these quite a bit. That one's pretty close. If you notice, the sounds were a lot better. I'm going to take that same thing. I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to round this a little bit more. So right there, that's how I do my calls. Sometimes I'll adjust these. Just depends on what I feel for the call in my mouth. This one feels great right now. I'm gonna leave it as it is. Let's try a Rocky Mountain game call. Let's see. I've heard the Raging Bull is good, so let's try it. I have used these ones a little bit this last year. I didn't used to use them, but there was such good reviews I decided to try some. So straight out of the box, like I say, it's gonna gag me, I feel it. It's just too big. It goes too far back, so it almost makes me feel like I'm gonna throw up or gag. Let's try it. I like the airflow. Flows great, but I do need to cut it down or I will be choking on the damn thing. A lot of people don't realize that these are made to be cut to where you want it. I've had guys say it's too big, it gagged me. I'm like, well, cut it down. That's what I mean by cutting it down. You cut off that edge so that it's going to go back in your throat and gag you. I like that one. Sounds good. Easy to blow. You can probably do calf sounds. Sounds pretty good. We'll try bending it a little bit, see what it does. I play around with my calls all the time. Say it's just made to fit your mouth. You don't have to. You just want it to fit you. You don't have to use it like it's out of the box. I'm really liking these Rocky Mountain game calls. I never used them in the past, but I used a little bit last year. And they're just easy to blow. I really like them. That one's a Raging Bull. This one's a little different shape. This is single, so it's made with a narrow frame for youth, women and men with narrow plate area. So I'm saying, so they're made differently, but you got to find which one works for you the best. Everybody has a different shape of mouth. And this is not going to do a crazy bugle. It's more of a cow-calf. Yeah, right out of the box, it makes you want to gag on it. For me, I guess if you have a bigger mouth, you don't have to do this. For me, I have to cut all these down to make them a little smaller so I don't gag on them. So that'll make a young bull, which a lot of times does a trick. I mean, you don't want to sound like the biggest, meanest, baddest bull on the mountain. You're not going to have anything come in because they think you're going to kick their ass. That sounds like a good call. I think sound like a young cow, calf. That's a good bull to call things in with. It's like I'm really liking those. I'll probably use Rocky Mountain a lot this year. Let's try this other Primos one. I had never tried this one before. A lot of people like these dome plates. The one I did try in the past, I did not like it. So that's something I'll have to find out. But this one is kind of already cut down. So this is more of a smaller person, smaller mouth. It's already small. I don't know if I have to cut it down. I might have to cut that back off. We'll find out here in a minute. But it's a dome plate. You don't adjust these very much. Some of these other ones I can adjust even this top. I can round it off more or flatten it out a little bit, whatever I need to do. For me, those domes just don't fit in my mouth right. I'm gonna try and play with it, see if I can get it a little better. But whatever it is, those domes just don't seem to quite fit me. That doesn't mean it won't fit you. you really just have to buy some and find out. I mean, it's get expensive, but until you figure out what one you want, what fits your mouth the best, my advice is just to buy different kinds and try them out yourself. See, for me, that just does not do it. I don't think there's, no matter what I do to that call, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be anything I can blow or work for me. So that's something you got to find out. That's why there's so many different shapes and sizes. We'll try another Carlton here. I love the looks of this one. American flag on it. Looks freaking awesome. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be great for calling out. But I do like the looks. Right out of the box. There's an elk on the back. It's called Rip It 400. So I'm going to start cutting it down immediately, just because I know I'm going to gag if I don't. That's your first step. And you put it in your mouth, cut a little bit off. If it's not enough, cut a little more off. But just try to cut it even all the way around. Yeah, this one definitely is going to need some adjustment. I can't even blow that one out of the box. It's just not curved enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on something round like this. Let's use this other one. It seems to be a little better. But this one I'm going to round off. I already know I need a bunch. Let's just push down on it. Round that around that. See if that makes a difference. A little harder to blow than some of these other ones. I like the bottom end, I don't like the top end. It's not bad. I'll play with that some more and see. I do like the looks of them. They just don't seem to be quite as good as the Rocky Mountains. So far, I'm liking these Rocky Mountains definitely by far the best. They just seem to fit good, blow good, with ease, not as hard. You don't have to put quite as much work into them. Especially a beginner. I mean, a beginner needs something that's gonna somewhat blow easy. As you get more advanced, you might want to try different calls. You might find something that works for you as you get the system down a little better. But it's trial and error. And each of these costs, you know, between $7 to $10 probably. So you gotta decide which ones you want to try out and try them out. If they work, use them. Not bad. Like those ones seem to be the best right out of the box. I do have to bend them just a little bit so they feel right in my mouth. Like I say, I've done this for 20 plus years. I've called hundreds of elk in. I seem to be able to call really well as far as speaking with them, knowing what they want to hear. That's another thing. You just got to know when to call and how to call according to what they're doing. A lot of times I try to imitate the bull. And a lot of times I'll just do cow sounds. I mean, depending on what they want. If they're wanting to fight, if they're wanting to make love. Gosh, those just seem so great. I bent them a little bit, not a lot. They just seem to just pop in there, fit really good against the roof of my mouth, and just make a great sound. I mean, I love these Rocky Mountain game calls, and more than likely that is what I'll be using this year. I might still use the Primos. I've already pretty much, I'll play with them some more, but I'm pretty sure the Carlton natives are not my thing. That don't mean they won't work for you, but they're definitely not what I would consider something I'll buy again and blow. Those are just nice. Now they sell all kinds of different ones because they get higher pitch tones, lower pitch tones, cow calves, big bulls. I mean, you just got to decide what you want to sound like, and I'll carry a few at once. I usually like to carry one that's going to do a cow calf sound with me, and then a medium bull. Once in a while, I'll get a big bull out there just to reach out there and see if I can find something that's a long ways away. But for the most part, I usually use more of a medium bull sound. That's good to say. That's your young bull right there.
Dad.
I believe. Let's see which was my other ones. That one's not going to work for me. So that's my guess this year. Those two probably will be two of the ones I use. Those are both Rocky Mountains. I did like this Primo one. And sometimes I get one, and I bought probably 30 of these Primos ones. And every year I buy at least one. But that's what I was mainly using before I tried these Rocky Mountain game calls. So this one I'm sure I'll take with me just because it's always been there for me. It's always called in bulls. It's just been one of my favorite calls I've used. I feel like I can throw a lot of different tones out with this one for whatever reason. But that's kind of what you got to do when you try to learn how to blow these, and make them fit your mouth first. And then you got to get to where you can know exactly how to blow the air over the top of them. I got one more in here. I kind of overdid it on calls, I'm sure. I always do. This one, it says the challenge elk call. So light blue one. I believe I used this one a little bit last year. I'm going to cut it down like I do all of them. And I've got to where I know about how big I want it. So I pretty much cut it once anymore. Let's try it out of the package. When I put that in mouth, I can tell already I gotta bend it. Like it just doesn't fit quite against the roof. Sounds pretty good. I'm gonna bend it for my comfort, just where I feel comfortable with it. I always want to make sure that when I put a call in my mouth, I know it's good. I trust it. I'm not gonna screw my calls up. Anyways, that's kind of a lesson on what to do when you pull a call out of the box and try to figure it out. These ones definitely are different looking, and I really thought they were cool looking. Wanted to see if they was going to work for me, but say they just don't seem to fit comfortable. I mean, I just put it in my mouth makes me want to gag almost. I'm going to try bend this one a little more and see if it helps, but it just doesn't seem to be my fit at all. Kind of hard to bend. Yeah, the natives just ain't doing it for me. I probably won't be using those at all unless I play with them a lot more and can figure them out. As far as cow calls go, like I say, over the years I bought a ton. This is Primos, a Timberline. If I remember right, I don't like this one at all. It's too loud. Yeah, that's Probably never gonna ever be on the mountain with me. This one's called the Woodwise. I've had these over the years. They're not bad. It's still not one of my favorites. But they're a decent call. I can blow them. This one definitely will not be my pack. It's another one of those I bought, trying it out. It just does not do it for me. They're hard to blow, way too loud, just doesn't sound right. The Skeeries, I've never been a fan of those like either. It just doesn't seem like the right pitch point for me. And I've tried them on the mountain, they just never done any good. This one, I believe, I can't remember what brand this is. It's about obvious. It's the only one with that elk on it. I bought it because it looks cool as shit. And it's not a bad call. It's got a good tone to it. I have used that one. I have called elk with it. It's probably one of my better calls. I have used this one and called some elk in. It's more of a longer range. It seems to get out there and talk to them. So they have their different tones. So sometimes a bull will come to something in your pack, and sometimes you won't. Let's see. I'm not sure where. Like, this is my favorite call. I don't know where my other piece is. It's probably in the other room. But it's a Primos Hyperlip single. I've used this ever since I started hunting day one, and I've called in hundreds of bulls in with this thing. By far my favorite. I do have the little thing that goes on the end that's a silencer that works great. That's probably by far my favorite one, though. There's a lot of good calls out there, but some of them just don't seem to be good. This one's I Make It the Bull Crazy, also by Primos. It's one of my good calls I always have with me in my pack. Just a good, easy blown call. And they have a long range and a short range. I think the orange is the short range, this is a long range. Gets out there a little bit farther. Oh, what else do I got in here? This might be Carlton, I can't really remember. See what it says on there. It says the green ween, something like that. And all these are the ones I've decided I like. There's bite down calls. I don't know if I even have any. I've got that one. The bite down just do not give the right sound. They're just harder to blow, harder to imitate. The ones that you slide your lip on are a lot better. And for me, it seems like they're all the ones that are a little bit longer, have more room, and they have a band on them when they start. I always take the bands off because I'm used to where I want to pitch. I throw my, it's how hard you squeeze. Like, this kind of squeezes it for you, so you can't throw the pitches around as much wherever you put that band. It's the same pitch the whole way through. You move it up, gives you a little more. For me, I like throwing it all the way down. I mean, I could do a calf, I could do a cow, I can do everything without having to adjust that. But that's something you get with experience. You might need the band for a while until you can figure it out. But I think that's about all the calls I got in here. But the bite down calls, I've never been a fan. They're very hard to blow. It's hard to figure out. But yeah, that one's pretty much trash to me. So that's my call box. Like I say, this one I use a lot. I'll try this one. I can't remember what this is. Voodoo. For me, I curl my lip on this top, curl it underneath, and slide it as I want the pitch tone to change. It takes a lot of practice to figure out where your pitch tones you want, but that's the best thing to do is get one of these calls like this. My recommendation would probably be the Primos that has that silencer on the end. I'm sure I have another one. This is my backup one. That's probably the easiest call for me to learn, to use, and I've called in hundreds of bulls. Every year this calls in bulls for me. It's been my go-to call. They sound really close to the same. For some reason, this just seems to have the right pitch. But I always take more than one. Sometimes you'll get build up, from spit. It makes so you can't blow it as good. And you don't want that when you're in a call session. So I'll have more than one in my pack just in case one of them gets gummed up or whatever. But there's tons of calls out there. My best advice is to buy some and just start blowing them. You learn which ones you like and which ones you don't, but find which one's easiest for you and which one works. But that's a little lesson on calls. Hope that helps out, guys. Have a good elk season. I plan on doing my best to see if I can't get me another big bull down. Anyways, keep in touch.